Kristen. How are you?
Hey Madison, how are you?
I'm good.
Good, welcome.
Madison, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm from here. I went to college for business management.
Okay.
How has your education prepared you for a career?
I've had to work in a lot of teams and do a lot of presentations, so I learned to work with people pretty well.
Okay.
Why did you choose the career you're now pursuing?
I want to be a part of the process where you get to make the decisions and be part of that creative process instead of being the person at the end that just follows orders.
Okay.
What qualities do you have that would make you a good manager?
I'm very detail oriented. I try to stay really organized. I like to get things done before they're due.
Give me an example of a time when you tried to accomplish something and failed.
I work at the credit union,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever the computers go down, it's my job to call tech support and try to fix everything. A lot of the time I can't, and I have to call the vice president or the president to come down and fix it for me.
Okay. What is your typical way of dealing with conflict? Give me an example.
I try to avoid it completely, but if I do have a problem with like a coworker, I just make sure that they know why I did what I did. Try to make them understand my point of view, and that normally works. I've never had any problems so far.
Okay.
What training methods would you prefer if you were selected for this position?
I would prefer on-the-job training. That way you can kind of shadow somebody and watch what they do and ask questions. It's just more hands-on.
That's good. Did you graduate from high school, obviously?
If you're asking if I'm old enough for the position, I am, I promise.
You are, so you are over 18.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What are your greatest weaknesses?
Probably whenever I have to do something and I don't know exactly what is expected. If I don't have a way to clarify, I just get flustered and it doesn't turn out so well. So that's probably my greatest weakness of all.
Okay. Tell me about a management mistake that you may have made in the past, and if you could, what would you do differently?
I haven't had a whole lot of managing experience,
Okay.
but I do a lot of paperwork at work, and I just have to go off the copies that we have in the folder until I mess up sometimes. And if I could go back, I would love to have somebody there that could show me step by step what I need to do.
Okay.
How would you discipline an insubordinate employee?
I would start out by asking them what happened, just to see why they did that, and it could be noted there are special circumstances sometimes. And then I would just discipline them according to policy. It's the fairest way, I think.
Okay.
Tell me about a time when you had to go above and beyond the call of duty to get your job done.
My first job was at Dunham's, and I had a lady come in, and she bought a shirt, and she needed to exchange it for a different size. When she went back, we didn't have any. And so she told me what size she was looking for, and I dressed all the mannequins the day before. And I knew one of them had that same shirt and the size she needed, so I had to go across the store and take it down and undress it so she could have it.
Cool.
And then go through putting it back up.
Very good.
Dressing dolls, life-size dolls.
Yeah.
Describe a time when you set your sights too high or too low.
I set them way too high when I try to get ahead on homework or something. I get ahead, but never nearly as far as I would like to.
Do you smoke or use alcohol?
Was that a problem before?
Are you able to comply with the company's substance abuse policies?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank
Give me an example of a time where you had to make a split-second decision.
Once, when I was at work, there was an emergency, and my boss was taking the money back to the vault, and she just handed it to me, and I was right by the front door. So I had to figure out where a safe place was to put all this money really
Wow.
fast before somebody came in and decided they wanted it.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Talk about the balance between not micromanaging but still being involved enough to catch problems easily. How would you address this issue?
I think to address that, you need to have a good team so that you don't have to stand over everybody and micromanage, but you still have time to look and see what everyone's doing. Just kind of trust them to watch the little details for you and tell you if there's a problem.
Tell me about a time when you missed an obvious solution to a problem.
At the credit union, we can pay bills for certain people, electric bills, that sort of thing. And most of them come in with checks already made out. And one day I had someone come in and she didn't have any checks. So I went through the process of making her a bank check and going through all that and the filing. And afterwards I realized that we have an account that we could have just paid it directly through and saved 5 or 10 minutes of time. So.
Wow. In your current position, you obviously work with a lot of the people, with the public. Tell me a time when you were able to successfully deal with another person, even when that person may not have personally liked you, or you didn't like him or her.
When I first started, I'd been there maybe a week, and I had a lady come in, and she had a long list of transactions that she wanted done on 5 or 6 different accounts. And I went through and I did them, and I messed up on one. I put too much money in one account instead of the other. So she was really upset with me, and she came back like a month later, and I'd had more training, and I got everything right that time. So she's comfortable coming to me now. She doesn't mind. So.
Well, I think we've just about got all of our questions we wanted for you, Madison. Do you have any questions for us?
Why is the position open? I was just curious.
The previous employee moved out of state.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Is that what you got? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've got some others to, people to talk to and make some decisions, and we will get in touch with you.
All right.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks.